Serious, in the spirit of October, what's the creepiest or most paranormal experience that has happened to you? I walked into a bathroom at school in the middle of the day. I went to the bathroom, washed my hands, and when I was about to leave I heard a noise behind me. I looked around and saw this boy with dark hair and ghostly white skin. He also had yellow eyes and a sort of yellowish aura, and he freaked me out. I just bolted and was super freaked out. I talked to my friend about it and he said he had seen another apparition like this in a school bathroom. No one else mentioned seeing it and I never saw it again. I used to work at a movie theater, and my first summer working there, I would have closing box office shifts for the most part. You would get the cracked out homeless in the parking lot, but they would never mess with you. One night I was very tired and I closed my eyes for a few second holes sitting up, and I opened my eyes and Terry's this man that's about 7 feet tall in a black trench coat standing there, and I startle a little bit and say, "How can I help you, sir?" And he stares into my eyes for a few seconds and just says, "No, I'm really creeped out at this point," and say, "You need to leave." Then all he says is no, and then starts knocking on the glass methodically and bangs on the glass for 2 minutes, and I'm just stuck in this trance looking into his eyes as he stares back at me. As time passes, more and more hands start knocking all around me in unison. All at once the knocking stops and he calmly says, "Wake up," and a half second later I fall off of my stool as I wake up and I slowly realize it was all a dream. When I turned off the light as I was leaving for the night, and he appears at the glass again with a finger over his lips, and I just book it put of there. Never seen him again, and nobody ever had the same experience. Happened last night. I was the only one up at around 2:45 a.m. and it was raining pretty hard. I was working on cosplays and plushies and stuff when I hear what sounds like muffled talking and small metal clings. And I decide to call it a night at around 4. I hear more talking and something tap against the screen of my window. I hear small clicks, look out of my window and see a small lens. It moved away fast once I looked over. I called my brother, dad, and mom. None of them answered, and I was too scared to go to one of them. Also because I think that they would think that I was making stuff up. I had 2 of my bats with me. I always have at least one pair of nunchucks and a bat in my room, and let's just say I didn't get a good night's sleep last night. Distressed face. My granddad smoked a pipe, which is quite a strong distinctive smell. At several pivotal moments in my life, making an important or life-changing decisions, important moments, graduating, etc., I have smelled strong pipe smoke that no one else around me has been able to smell. No, I don't have tumor. My mum's stepdad. I woke up one morning, about 11 at night, which is unusual for me. I opened my eyes and saw across my room, by my door, was a tall person in a dark outfit. I tried to reach for my knife but I couldn't move, so I just think, oh, sleep paralysis, not the first time, and then I realize my wrists were strapped to my bed. That's when I start to freak out and struggle, and the person walked up to me, still pure black despite being illuminated by the vague street light. When I looked away, then back, it was gone and I was able to move. Never been quite freaked out like that before, or since. Slept over at a friend's house after a long day of playing in the creek down the road. Slept on the couch in the living room/dining area. Woke up multiple times throughout the night feeling extremely uneasy, with a heavy sense of dread, I guess. It felt overwhelming and kinda cumbersome. When I woke, it always was intensely silent, to where it would cause a ringing in my ears, tinnitus. It would pass. I assumed maybe I was overly exhausted from swimming hard in the sun all day or something. Still, I probably only got 3 or 4 hours of inconsistent sleep. Friend comes down the next morning and sees I look like shit. He asks me, "Did the ghost keep you up all night or something?" This piques my interest, obviously. Turns out there was a suicide in his house, and I had slept 10 away from where the past owner had committed suicide. With a shotgun. And his body presumably went undiscovered for almost a week. Sure as shit, shoddily covered up pellet holes in the ceiling with a faint red stain in the wood on the floor. My friend never thought to bring this up before. A girl said she liked me. When I was younger I would have sleepovers with my siblings in the living room. There were 5 of us, 3 boys and 2 girls. So my brother wakes me up around 1:15 a.m. and asked if I had gone into the bathroom and jumped out the window and came back inside. I was pissed. He woke me up and told him that I didn't, and he said he heard a girl humming and walk into the bathroom. And we looked over at my sister who was dead asleep. So we opened the bathroom door and there was nothing, but we both felt a blast of air rush past us and running footsteps on the stairs. At this point we both freak out and wake up our siblings who don't believe us, who would. And all of a sudden we all hear humming and see a girl walk down the stairs, but it was more like floating, and she stands in the corner and waves to me. And to this day we still see her, and all 4 of my siblings will vouch for me that this really did happen. Looked through death records and a girl did die in the house, murder-suicide. You reckon the reason paranormal stuff hasn't really been picked up is because the ghost knows not to show creepy stuff if cameras are on or recording? Just a theory, because I know ghosts are real, but there just isn't a lot of backed evidence. I went into an abandoned mental institution, Forest Haven in Maryland, years ago, and it was scary as shit. People swear if you take paperwork out, it will be blank when you look at it again. This happened to me, my sister, and my friends at a block party in 2016. It was during the huge killer clown fiasco. We were all chilling out in a bouncy house when we decided to take a walk. There was about 6 of us. We walked a couple of blocks down from the party and everyone was officially out of sight. We were fucking around, making jokes and being dumb. You know, as kids do. We walked to the start of a usually busy street that was unusually empty this night. There was a street light right next to it and a man right underneath it. He was wearing a black hoodie and jeans. We were all a bit creeped out since it was 2016 and killer clowns were a thing. We kept our distance. He turned around eventually, but looking at him made my blood run cold. He was wearing a clown mask, which was startling enough as it is, but he was also holding a kitchen knife in one of his hands. Needless to say, we were fucking petrified. Our fear only grew as he started running towards us. We fucking booked it. I don't think I've ever ran that fast in my entire life. I sprinted. Luckily one of our friends lived close by, so we ran into his house and locked all the doors. We went to the party after a solid half hour, but it was one of the scariest nights of my life. I sometimes wonder what would have happened if we stayed at the party, or if we took a different route. It's not the creepiest but the most recent. Growing up in a gypsy family we have our fair share of ghost stories. So, we have 3 cats and I have 2 birds. One of the cats was banned from going in my room because he'd try to attack the birds. The problem is, my room's door is broken and won't close properly, so sometimes he'd manage to sneak in. When he did that, the birds would fly on top of the wardrobe and give this distinct call that basically said "cat got in, so I can go and put the cat out." Sadly the cat got sick a few weeks ago and passed away from a kidney infection. A few days after he died, the birds would randomly spook to the top of the wardrobe and do their cat warning call while the door was dead-ass closed. This happened like 5 times the following days and has now stopped. I like to think our little guy came in have a last attempt at having chicken for dinner. Okay, here goes. Once my mom took me to a year's sale at the local sports station parking lot. I was looking at a billboard put in an empty field next to the parking lot. Mom called my name to ask me something. I turned around, the board was gone. Maybe not as scary as some of these posts, but the experience freaked kid me the hell out. Like a black cat was in our house and I quickly shut the door of my room and locked myself in my room that night.